Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Crime in Sports.
Yay!
Oh, yay indeed, Jimmy. Yay indeed. My name is James Petrogallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Jimmy Wissman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us today on another this is one of the craziest things that we'll ever talk about on Small Town Murder or Crime in Sports. It's just insane episode of Crime in Sports today. This is a redo of an episode we did way back in I think it was our 5th episode.
My Christ.
And this was, back when, I had none of the resources to be able to research things properly. That was tough because I just couldn't afford to even get a newspapers.com subscription. I had nothing like that. And this was back when it was a year before Small Town Murder. I think when this came out initially, I think like 7 people listened to it the first week it came out. I'm not even kidding you. I think we had 7 listens to this. So like nobody listened, and people have gone back and checked it out, but it's hard because our first 46 episodes didn't have the audio quality that you're used to at this point. We had
real bad.
We couldn't afford a sound setup, and then after that we got into a radio station and they let us use their equipment, which was great. But before that we had nothing. So this needs to be covered properly, put it that way. Anyway, here we go. You definitely want to head over to shutupandgivememurder.com. Get your tickets for live shows, everybody, for Small Town Murder. Anyway, May 2nd in Denver, May 30th in Royal Oak. Those are the ones that have tickets left coming up here, so get those tickets right now. Shutupandgivememurder.com. Also, all your merchandise for all 3 shows, Crime and Sports, Small Town Murder, and Your Stupid Opinions.
You bet.
Then get yourself Patreon, because we're telling you, it's the best bargain out there that you're going to get in podcasting. Patreon.com/crimeinsports is what you have to do. And anybody $5 a month or above, and we have not changed that since we first started doing the show in 2016. It is still $5 a month. What you get is, as soon as you subscribe, you're going to get a giant back catalog of bonus episodes you've never heard before. It's more than 300, so it's a lot. It's like a whole other feed. Then you get new ones every other week, one Crime and Sports, one Small Town Murder, and you get them all, everybody. We just give you everything here. This week, what you're going to get for Crime and Sports, we're going to talk about the Ecclesia Athletic Association, which was a program set up in Los Angeles to help kind of inner city youths get off the street and get into sports. And it turned into a big cult of abuse and awfulness, obviously, because that's what happens. Then for Small Town Murder, we were going to do Corey Richins Part 2. If you listen to the first one that came out, you know that is this a wild story. What a fun story it is to tell, because neither of us can stand her. She killed her husband, then wrote a book about grief for her children, where her husband's like an angel in it and all that. And by the way, she's being sued for that too now by the family, which is hilarious. And we'll get into all that and more. Patreon.com/crimeinsports. And in addition to all of that, you also get all the shows we put out. Crime and Sports, Your Stupid Opinions, Small Town Murder, all ad-free with your Patreon.
Ad-free!
Ad-free. And you get a shout out at the end of the show. Honestly. We couldn't give you more. We've added so much to this over the years, and we just keep adding to it. And hopefully we'll find something else to give you. But that said, let's do this.
Here we go.
Let's dive in, because this guy is a fucking mess. We're going to do Bruno Fernandes De Souza again.
De Souza.
It's actually Bruno Fernandes das Dores De Souza.
Good Lord.
He's known in Brazil as Goleiro Bruno.
Is he a goalie?
Goalkeeper Bruno. Yeah. So that's what he's very famous in Brazil, too.
Yeah.
He's, a one-name guy. Bruno. He's born December 23rd, 1984. Born down in Brazil. Oh, my God. Ribeirão das Neves, Minas Gerais, Brazil.
Jesus.
There you go. As he will tell you later on, quote, "I'm from the favela, bitch," is what he'll say. So that's the ghetto down there, the favela.
It's a bad area.
He's a big guy, 6'3", too. Big dude.
Is he that big?
Yeah, I never thought of that. But I guess goalkeepers are. You'd have to be limber, but I would think that you'd also want to cover some ground in there. You know what I mean?
You want a long guy.
Some long arms and some things like that. His dad is Maurílio Fernandes Dores De Souza. Sure. His mother is Sandra Casilla de Oliveira Santos. And his grandmother is Donna Estela. who we'll talk about because he's going to be with his grandmother quite a bit.
Yeah.
So Bruno was born 2 days before Christmas. That's right. As the wise men all hunker down and the reindeer are being fed and the elves are going away, here comes Bruno.
Their nicest gifts, James.
Oh, man. And the nicest gift they could get is a baby boy who will turn out to be a complete piece of shit, and that's what he is.
Really bad guy.
Really bad guy. He's born into a very poor family here. One day after Christmas, 3 days later, his mother and his father's a truck driver, by the way, they ask his father's mother, Estella, there, to take care of the baby. Will you take care of our 3-day-old baby? You just take it.
Yeah.
We had
Hang
it,
on
but
to him.
you hang on and you make this work here. So just hands over the baby. So Bruno's already been given away 3 days into his life here.
Yeah.
And then he grew up as a poor kid under his grandmother, basically.
Wow.
In the projects here. Him and his mother and father remained married for 4 years. In 1986, they moved to Teresina, Piauí, Piauí with an accent. I don't know. That's a tough one. According to his mother in a 2006 interview, the grandmother wouldn't let Bruno go with the couple when they moved. She said, I'm keeping him. You guys are a fucking mess. I'm keeping the kid.
Okay.
Don't trust you with him. They did, however, take their other son, who apparently the grandmother wasn't that attached to. It was just like,
fine with that one. Yeah.
You can have this one, but I'm keeping the good one, basically.
Yeah.
Who was then 1 year and 8 months old. So that's the son, Rodrigo. So they must have been born very close to each other. Think about that. Holy shit. They must have been, I mean, she must have got pregnant as soon as he came out.
Now, yeah.
Yeah. Then his parents separated in 1988, so the grandmother had something down there. She knew it was up. Sandra went to live with her mother in southern Bahia, and the dad found a family from Piauí to raise Rodrigo. So they basically gave their other kid away, Rodrigo. So Bruno sort of got saved by his grandmother here.
No shit.
Keeping him and saying, I'm not letting him go with you idiots. So he was raised by her in Mina Slandina, which is a very poor neighborhood in Ribeirão das Neves, which is a city of about 350,000 people. Yeah. It's outside of Belo Horizonte. It was here where Estella and the grandfather settled when Bruno was about 7 years old. His father only got to know him later on when he started playing soccer. Basically, when he became a famous goalkeeper, all of a sudden his dad showed up and was like, Bruno!
Hey, there you are.
Bruno! Brazil's answer to an NBA parent. You know, I haven't. Oh man, I never meant to leave you behind there with everybody.
I've been looking for you.
Just been trying to get a hold of you for so long, which is pretty funny. But shortly after being reunited with his kids later on, he'll end up dying in 2002.
Oh, okay.
So he gets reunited. Him and Bruno get to know each other again, and then he drops dead. And he leaves behind, from what I understand, suspicions of being in some sort of criminal network.
Nice.
Some sort of criminal that he was. So Bruno here, he has his close friends, and they're the people that he hangs out with. All of his buddies here. He's got Luciano. He's got Lulu. He's got Luis Henrique. He's got Macarayo and his cousin Sergio. These are the people he hangs out with.
Male Macarena.
The male Macarena. So in October 2008, there's a series of reports on his childhood. And that's where this all came from globoesporte.com. Let's give them credit because this information is not easy to find. That's another thing we have to say about it. Shows like this, so much of this has to be translated.
Yeah.
It's really hard to figure out what the sources of information in Brazil are and how to tap into them. And this is a very difficult kind of an episode to put together. So props to Ian for finding all this shit too.
Do they at least write it up where Google Translate or any translation thing can figure it out properly? You don't really put slang in the paper, right?
Well, that's the problem though. It doesn't translate perfectly. So sometimes sentences are clunky and it's a little bit difficult, but it's mainly just finding it all.
Yeah.
And so finding it's a big deal, and then compiling it obviously is not easy either, but finding it is really the brutal part. That's the hard part. So in this article, they talk about his childhood and his friends Luciano, Sergio, and Macario shared details about his childhood and how he started playing and all that kind of thing. Now, Luciano points to a field of land and says, this is where it all started.
Here it is.
That's the soccer field where we all started playing. He said, then we went to Venda Nova and Caique, where Bruno met Macario. There, Bruno's professional career began. Now they say, well, what was Bruno like as a kid? What was he like as like a 10-year-old? What was he like? Just, off the top of your head. And he said, well, he was very ugly. Number one, that's a great way. That's the first description. First thing that I think of is, man, he was ugly kid. Just ugly.
Ugliest kid I ever saw.
He said, we called him Sockhead.
What does that mean?
Because he had a big shoulder and a small head.
Oh.
So like a sock head, like I guess.
Like a ball of socks on
maybe like
your...
if the end of a sock is kind of hanging off your foot, you got your foot and then you kind of got this like empty, weird piece of sock dangling off there. Maybe that's what he's talking about. I'm not sure, but I don't think sockhead is positive. Let's put it that way. If
your head is the size of a balled up sock too, that's a pretty dinky head.
That'd be a tiny head, little sock head. Yeah, I'm not sure. They said he wanted to work and train and we wanted to play with the girls. He was always very serious, Bruno was. Now, Luciano said at the time here, he said, there was a day when we ate popcorn at the bus stop. I didn't have money to train. I didn't have money to eat. And he's talked about back then, him, So his friends say that his childhood had a big influence on Bruno. Well, no shit. Whose fucking childhood doesn't have an influence on them? Yeah. I mean, that's everything. That's
what. Yeah, they call it formative years for a reason.
That's every shit thing your parents do. It's all part of the stew. It's another ingredient that's put in there. And
the word form is the root word. You're growing.
As everybody knows, if you put too much salt in it, you can't just boil that away. It's salty now. That's how it is.
Sticks around.
Yeah. You better go to therapy and get some potatoes to put in there to soak that shit up, or else you're in trouble.
Get some sugar.
Yeah, you're in deep shit. So they said that he always had a hard time being alone, Bruno. They called him needy.
Yeah.
Yeah. They said his behavior was like this is what they said about him being a student. This is a friend of his. I teased a lot, but I knew the responsibility. He got good grades, but he stirred up the room. Every now and then I would get that call, but the director was even used to it. I'd stop by, have a coffee with her, and everything's fine. Oh, I think this is from his mother or his grandmother. The grades were good. Then there's another paragraph. I wasn't a great student, but I was among the best. Okay. The subject I was never good at and never hid from anyone was math. It was kind of dumb in that area, but in the other back heel shots. I don't know what that means. That's what I mean. Now we're into translations now. And it seems like half of that is his grandmother and half of that is him talking.
It's also half of that is school and half of it is on the field.
Yeah, so I think it's his grandmother talking about school and then him talking about on the field. Now, he didn't consider becoming a soccer player initially.
No?
No, they're so far away from where they are. They're in some shit neighborhood somewhere. He didn't even think about it. He didn't even think of their neighborhood's so shitty, they don't even think about wicked jump shots or crack rocks. That's not even on the fucking radar. It's just, it is what it is. Here we are. We're broke. He never dropped out of school. He was working unloading trucks and doing shit like that while he was still in school. He wanted to be an airplane mechanical engineer.
Okay.
Which to this day he'll still say, the end of my career, I still want to be a mechanical engineer for an airline.
When this is all over.
Yeah. So during his time as a student, he met Macareo, his one friend, and he said, this is, I believe, Bruno, we would sell the transport voucher so we could eat something and walk back. Luciano and Macareo started working, and they both gave me ticket money. It cost 90 cents, and I couldn't afford it. They helped me. I had many friends who went down the path of crime. He said the only ones left were Lulu and Macareo. Others got lost. I had everything to become an addict or something else, but they said to themselves, not you, you have a future. Okay. Interesting. So they're working, they're playing soccer, and he's playing in like the youth ranks of soccer for Venda Nova, which was a team in the second division of Minas Gerais. Bruno and Lulu sometimes stopped training due to a lack of money to manage. So sometimes they just didn't have money. They had to work to buy food, so they couldn't play because they had to work. Lulu then arranged resources, is the way they put it. This is the way he did it. He stole the chickens from Bruno's grandmother's backyard and sold them to get some pocket change.
And sold them.
So now the family has no chickens. Yeah. So that's interesting. Then they said when Lulu did not help, Macareo gave part of the salary he earned where he was playing soccer. He was getting a salary, and he gave some to Bruno and help him. Yeah. Bruno said, today I recognize this, and I try to help them in the best way possible, meaning the guys that helped him. At Venda Nova, Bruno got to be 12 years old, and the team paid for driving and basic food baskets. Wow. And at this point, he's like a tall, thin kid, and he starts to show talent. It's funny, once people start feeding him regularly, he starts to like show a spark on the field. That's strange.
His body is at that age, too, where any bit of food, it shows that you're eating.
Absolutely, yeah. And also you're growing, so you're burning a lot of calories.
Those are the right spots.
Yeah. Luciano, his friend, said he went to try out at Venda Nova as a right back. And I told him, Bruno, your potential is in goal. In the test, the guys took 18 penalties and he saved 16. One was a goal and the other went wide. So he turned out to be a good goalie. They had 18 penalty shots on him, which are just free shots with nobody in between.
Only one score,
And only one score at 18, which seems better than I could do. It seems pretty good.
On professionals, they're getting 18 in.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. These are like professional kids, though.
Yeah.
But still, real good soccer players. On me, unless you blow it and shoot it wide, you're probably going to score a whole lot of goals on me because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. So that's what's going on. Now, he has a childhood sweetheart, Bruno does, who he marries in 2004. So he's almost 20 at this point. Yeah. And he marries, I guess it's Diane, you'd say it, but it's Dayane, like Dayan.
Yeah.
So that's his childhood sweetheart. And he continued living at his grandmother's house, I assume with his wife now. The same year, in this year, he moved to Belo Horizonte, where he went to train at a youth academy, from which he was dismissed by the coach, which didn't work here.
Dismissed.
Yeah. Then Bruno arrived at Gallo while still in the youth academy, being integrated into the main squad in 2004, and he made his professional debut the following year and remained at that club until 2006. Here.
All right.
He ends up returning to Ribeirão here and worked as a goalkeeping coach at a soccer field. So because he gets shit canned from that team in 2006, so he goes to be a coach basically.
Sure.
And then he gets another chance at Atletico MG. And the problem is in the youth divisions, in the youth division here, he got involved in a fight outside a school at Belo Horizonte. So he was got in trouble for that legally, and then he was arrested for participating in a street race.
Oh, right.
So yeah, he's already getting arrested a whole bunch, even though.
And basically driving cars recklessly, right? That kind of
street racing. Yeah, not on foot. Those are legal.
They're not running.
No, you can race whoever you want down the sidewalk, but once you involve a car, you got to follow the rules of the road.
Yeah.
So these are the problems he has right away here. Now, in 2006, he's signed by an investment fund, Media Sports Investments, who had been linked to various transactions with his home club at Atletico Mineiro. The deal was speculated to have been worth around $2 million plus 15% on a future deal. So, or $2 million, whatever the fuck this is. It looks like a backwards C with two lines through it. I don't know what the fuck that is, but
dinero.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So yeah, it looks like he's signed by a group. I don't know if they're like an agency or if they're an actual team or what. But they give him a bunch of money, and they get 15% of a future deal that he gets. So it's one of those things. So August 7th, 2006, Atletico MG confirmed sale of Bruno to Corinthians. Corinthians, yes.
First ones? Yeah.
They confirmed the sale of the goalkeeper Bruno. Despite not closing the amounts, they admit the deal is worth around 2 million euros. Okay.
Wow.
That's a lot of money. The team is still entitled to receive 15% of a future transfer. So when somebody else buys him from them, they get money off of that deal. So Bruno is currently with the Atletico delegation in Amazonas for Atletico's clash with Sao Raimundo in the Brazilian Championship Series B. Mm-hmm. He has not decided whether to return to Belo Horizonte or travel directly to Sao Paulo. So they said Bruno said goodbye to the Atletico MG in a 2-1 victory over Portuguesa. Portugal, I assume, in the 14th round of Series B. At 21 years old, he arrived at the club in 2002 to join the youth teams, and he made his professional debut. They're talking about all the shit he did there. At the time, Bruno was the third goalkeeper, and he replaced a guy who was suspended, and then he was called up to defend the Brazilian under-20 team.
Nice.
Okay, so let's see. 2006, his mother, Sandra, returns to his life. Oh. He hasn't known her at all.
No?
No.
It's been with grandma the whole time.
He was approached and agreed to meet her on a television program.
Nice.
They said they did a Montel fucking show here where they were like, let's bring you on and here's your long-lost mom. Oh,
Jerry Springer.
That's fucking wild. He said this later on in 2008. He said, my mother is Donna Estella, 78 years old. She's my old lady and to whom I owe everything. I'm with her always, meaning it's his grandmother he's talking about. Yeah. So that's his real mother is what he's saying.
His old lady.
His old lady, yeah. She's my old lady. That means something different, I think.
Yeah, in America.
Yeah, I think that's like in England when you say you knocked someone up, it doesn't mean what it means here. It means you woke them up.
Taking the piss. Same thing.
Yeah, taking the piss. Yeah.
It's very different.
Yeah, totally different. So in 2006, Bruno reconnects with his mother's family, though, and brought his maternal grandmother, Lucely Souza de Oliveira Santos, to spend a month at his home.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. Now, his mother, Sandra, was admitted to a clinic for alcoholism, and he tried to help here. He tried to help her, apparently. Mm-hmm. According to his grandmother, it didn't really work out. He said, the grandmother said, quote, Diane, his wife, didn't like us. The noodles and the others are on top of him. He has a weak head and falls into other people's conversations.
Oh.
I have a feeling there were some Brazilian words that don't quite translate the same.
Yeah.
A weak head and the noodles and the others are on top of him.
Yeah.
That can't mean what it means in America, I don't think.
No.
Yeah, in English here.
And Portuguese is, that's what they speak there, right?
Yeah, Brazil is Portuguese. Yeah. Now, early May 2007, a reporter approaches Bruno. It was Mother's Day Eve, and the request was simple: send a message to your mother. They were doing this with
everybody.
With everybody. They used to do this on the NFL, not on the NFL, baseball. They would do it all the time because they're playing during Mother's Day. NBA would do that. SNL used to have them bring their moms out. Remember that shit for the closings and all that stuff?
Anything that has to do with entertainment and you've got the ability to say something nice to mom, they give them the opportunity.
Absolutely. And they usually say something real nice, and this is their opportunity to look like magnanimous, great guys who appreciate their moms. Bruno, instead, this is amazing, just hurled a series of swear words and slammed the door of the locker room on the guy.
I don't know
you,
her.
You piece of shit motherfucker, and slammed the door in his face. They were like, all righty, that's the only time that's ever happened when asking for some kind words about your mother. Jesus Christ. Okay, May 23rd, 2007. People want him in trades here. They said Flamengo, I guess that's the team he's playing for, Flamengo, goalkeeper Bruno made headlines this Wednesday afternoon in the Spanish newspaper Sport, which specializes in covering Barcelona. According to the newspaper, the red-black number 1 is in sights of Ronaldinho Gaucho's club. Okay. The article reproduces statements made by Flamengo's goalkeeper and vice president, Kleber Leite, to the Brazilian press, and says that Barcelona is one of the European clubs that have shown interest in signing the hero of black and red team's Rio de Janeiro title. So a team in Spain wants to sign him and bring him to Europe.
One of the best ones.
Yeah, which is the money for soccer in Europe, and the money in Brazil is not even close. It's huge.
But the money in Barcelona is crazy.
Huge money over there. So they say Bruno is 23 years old and has his good performances have not gone unnoticed by big European teams such as Barca, says the text from Sport. The goalkeeper stated that he does not want to leave Flamengo in June when his contract ends. He says, quote, Barcelona, I don't know anything. I'm very happy here. I have a contract to fulfill with the club. I want to make it very clear that I still have a lot of games to play for Flamengo.
Okay.
All right. They talk about how he's a good goalkeeper, and they said that, they're still looking to get him, though, basically. Which, I mean, it sounds like they're a bigger team with a lot of money, and if they want to buy him, they can buy him, basically.
Yeah.
I mean,
you got no choice.
Yeah, it's going to do it. So that's what they're talking about. So he ends up apparently there's a request for a loan.
Oh yeah, this whole thing.
Yeah, the loan, all this.
Where
bullshit.
They can borrow the kid.
Yeah. So they said that apparently when Flamengo signed him, they signed him for 4 years at about 7.8 million euros.
Nice.
Which is seems like good money.
That's great cash. But does that go to the other team?
That's the thing. I don't know how much of that he actually gets because soccer is fucking weird here. So apparently when he got to Flamengo, he arrived the same week that the first string guy, Diego. Apparently if you're a goalie, you only need one name.
Yeah, I mean.
It seems like there'd be quite a few guys down there named Diego. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, America, we just call them by their last name anyway. But.
Yeah. Well, because we couldn't call a guy just John because there's a fuckload more Johns. That's what I mean. Or you can't call a guy, that's Bill. Oh, Bill's the best center fielder in the league. What are we talking about? Bill who? So Diego seems like too common a name to just go by one name, I would think.
Yeah, I mean, there's a cartoon about one.
Yeah, exactly. And then Bruno, I just keep picturing fucking Sacha Baron Cohen. Yeah, that's all I keep picturing.
This whole time, I keep in my head,
that's all I'm seeing. With
I hear him saying
bathing suit up his ass and everything. Like, that's all I see.
Oh, that's Borat.
Yeah. Didn't Bruno have one too?
I mean, he wears a thong everywhere, so whenever his pants come off, he's just got a thong on for no reason at all.
Yeah, not the bathing suit, the thong. I don't know why I said bathing suit. That's Borat's got that V thing with the shoulder strap. That's not what I was talking about.
He's got the shoulder thong.
Yeah. I just meant his up his ass.
Bruno's just got a Dolce & Gabbana one.
Yeah.
Ever heard of it?
He's definitely got something in his ass crack at all times.
Always.
Sure.
Yeah, a remote control.
Something's up there. Something's up there. So Diego suffered an injury. So Bruno comes in and becomes a fan favorite. Especially, apparently, he made 3 penalty saves to win Flamengo the Campeonato Carioca over Botafogo.
He won 3?
He's had 3 penalty saves to hold the game for them, apparently.
Won it, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a rivalry or I don't even know if that's another team, to be honest with you, but it sounds like it in context. I'm not sure.
All that matters is that they won the game and he is the cog that did it. That's great.
Oof. It is one thing to be doing a sport we don't know about, but then when we talk about a sport we don't know about in a country we have no idea about that doesn't even speak English as their primary language, this becomes a real fucking treasure map and an adventure for us here.
Diego's got the map.
So all year it's speculated that Bruno was going to depart for Europe. And that's what they keep saying. They keep talking about Barcelona. But for around 3 million euros, Flamengo sealed a permanent deal with Bruno in 2008, with him stating his desire to be in this league and be here. He scored his first professional goal on April 23rd, 2008 from a free kick, which led the way to a 2-0 victory over Coronel Bolognese, yeah. And
they pulled a goalie or something? They must have.
A free kick. So, yeah, it must be I don't know if you get... he's a goalie, so otherwise it would be real hard.
That's the goalie with the ball at the other end, and he drops it across the entire field, and it went in.
Yeah, it's like when in hockey when they pull the goalie at the end because they're down by 2 goals, and they say, fuck it, we got to go all out.
Shots on goal.
Because otherwise you'd be a terrible goalie if someone kicked it from on the other side of the goddamn field and you let it get by you. That would be impressively bad goaltending. I think I could stop
the
that.
Asian girl from Ladybugs.
Yeah. Oh, man. So they said he didn't really like to go out very much.
No?
No, he doesn't like to go to nightclubs or concerts.
Yeah. All right.
And a lot of that, too, is I think in places like South America, they kidnap people who are very famous, like all the time.
Do they love it? Yeah.
So maybe going out to nightclubs and concerts is less of a good idea than a well-secured private party in a complex.
It's more lucrative to just kidnap people.
Absolutely. They said that he would go to, he had rented a rented house and he knew friends there and they would all hang out, or they'd go on boats and spend the night in the open sea.
Wow.
All of that. He liked being famous and he liked having women wanting to fuck him, from what I understand.
Oh, he did?
He liked that, but he didn't like the celebrity part of everybody knowing who he is.
Yeah.
It's like, I just want people to come up to me with their tits out. Is that that much to ask for?
I don't want the uggos.
Yeah, I don't need that. And guys coming up to me talking about they like my soccer. None of that shit.
Yeah, what's all these dudes about?
Yeah. Oh, God. So at the end of 2008, he said, quote, "I once hooked up with a global girl. I don't know what that means."
What's a global girl?
A global girl. Trying to think.
Does she work for the
maybe
the rag or the paper, the magazine?
It's not not a capital G, lowercase g. That's why I'm thinking maybe it's a translation for maybe worldly, something like that, like a woman of the world type of deal, and it came into global. I'm not sure. He said, "I went out with her on the Recreio waterfront and paparazzo arrived. I thought, that's not mine. I'm going to jump out."
What? What's not mine?
So he was hanging on the waterfront with a boat, and that's like, oh shit, like I don't need everyone to know what my business is, and I'm banging this broad on the side here. But he lives in Rio, and he's doing his thing there, and he would still go to the family farm in Esmeraldas. Here after a Flamengo game here in Minas Gerais in 2008, the site appeared in the police news because of another disturbance. Apparently, Marcino, Bruno's partner, now I think that means his friend, assaulted a prostitute, apparently.
It's got to be, right?
At his family's farm. You have to bring a prostitute to your farm. They don't normally hang out on farms.
They don't look for Johns there, generally?
It's very weird. I mean, that's a good place to find some guys. Yeah. Farmers are probably lonely, but they don't want to. You can't just go from farm to farm looking for work. Yeah. That's not how it goes there.
I have heard the term Farmer John, so maybe she's just confused.
Maybe it's just she likes guys who make sausage, and that's it. So, like, imagine if, like, Van Buren in Phoenix was in the middle of, like, a soybean field. That wouldn't be that normal,
Those guys are real good at pulling on tits. Who knows?
Who knows? So, anyway, he said after that, Bruno said after that, I never invited another player again, meaning a player on his team. So he was hanging out with a teammate who assaulted a prostitute at his family home.
Brought a hooker to my home and then beat her up.
Decided maybe I shouldn't bring teammates in. They're a little too wild.
Yeah.
He scored his second goal, a penalty, against Coritiba on October 23rd, 2008, and scored his third goal for Flamengo on February 4th, 2009 against Mesquita from a free kick. Nice. So in May 2009, after the retirement of Fabio Luciano,
it's about time.
Sounds like a fucking made-up name.
Yeah.
Fabio Luciano.
Beautiful man that can sing so well.
Gorgeous. And he's also pretty dangerous. He's also head of the Five Families, in case you didn't know.
I want to watch out.
You got to watch out. They made Bruno captain.
Okay.
So he's captain of the team now. He played his 100th match for Flamengo in July of 2009. He then made a tribute to Zé Carlos, who died that same month, by wearing the ex-Flamengo goalkeeper's name on his back of his shirt for the remainder of the 2009 season. Mm-hmm. So he seems to be sentimental.
Thoughtful, yeah.
That'll end soon. Don't worry.
I believe it.
He went from, he's going to go from thoughtful and sentimental to not quite as either of those.
Doesn't think about anything, as a matter of fact.
No, not any of it whatsoever, actually, here. So during his 4 years in Rio, he's always hanging out with his childhood friend, Macareo, the guy he grew up with, and a security guard named Marcelo Soares Silva, known as Marceleo. So there's Marceleo and Macareo.
Yeah.
Those are his two friends.
Marceleo and
Macareo. So Bruno is leading a comfortable life. He's hanging out with his pals. He was making about $200,000 a year, apparently.
That's good money there,
That seems good money. He owned an apartment in Recreio dos Bandeirantes.
Probably beautiful.
Oh, sounds gorgeous, doesn't it?
It's got to be.
It just flows off the tongue again.
I'll bet there's no difference between where the shit place neighborhood is and the sounding of that one too.
But it
sounds amazing.
You could have the worst place where there's no running, no sewage and, little kids running barefoot in the street. And you go, that sounds lovely. Yeah, we should vacation there.
Sounds exactly the same.
Sounds exotic, yeah. And then he moved to a house in the same neighborhood in a condominium where other Flamengo players lived. So he had an apartment, and then he moved into a nicer place here.
Now he's got a house where Flamengo players live?
A condo, apparently, but it's more like a house than an apartment. Yeah. Probably like you walk up from the street rather than being on the seventh floor or something.
It may touch another building, but it's not. Probably not walking through a maze of other doors.
Yeah. So his security guard friend, Marceleo, he said he always defended him. He said he takes his clothes off his body to help his friends. He'd give you the shirt off his back.
Yeah.
It's much more sexual sounding in Brazil.
He'll pull his balls out for you.
Imagine saying, he takes his clothes off his body to help his friends. That sounds, Jesus, what's he doing? Fucking you? Sucking you off? What's happening? He jerks off.
If he left him on, he'd probably get more done.
Yeah, that's the thing. Said he's a happy guy without malice. Whenever games ended, we'd go out for pizza and beer. Like it's Little League.
My buddy
That's
Tom's
nice.
car just broke down. I got to get these pants off.
Got to get these pants off and help him. Fuck it. He's going to need my dick out while this is going on. He says he's affectionate with women.
Oh.
He said, I've always been around Bruno and Diane, his wife and mother of his 2 daughters, by the way.
I love how affectionate he is with other women.
He said, I've never seen them fight.
Oh.
No, they're great. He said she was the best woman for him because she understood that he needed an hour for his friends.
Right.
She let him do shit. He needed unwind time and didn't break his balls to be home right after the games and shit like that. She
Everybody
didn't ask
needs
a lot
an
of
hour
questions.
a day.
Yeah. She didn't ask a lot of questions is essentially what that means. So that's a lot of athletes would love a wife who don't ask a lot of questions. That would be something they're really after there. So anyone who spent time with Bruno here said that they know that his temperament's always been problematic. His nickname amongst the players is Crazy. So
nice.
That's Crazy Bruno over there. Yeah. That says a lot. They said it changes from second to second. They said he's able to move a child with cancer. So I assume make like hospital visits to sick kids and hit a person who looks crooked. Totally unpredictable, one player said. He
can judge whether you've got cancer or you're crooked.
Yeah,
like
he knows.
That. Yeah.
One kid in one bed, cancer. He's fine. Next kid, I don't buy it. Pow, he punches him right in the face.
You're crooked as fuck.
He said, where's the cancer supposed to be? And the kid tells him, and then he punches him there repeatedly. And he goes, how's that feel? Huh? You faker?
You crooked fuck.
So they're saying he could be tender with a kid with cancer by the bedside 1 minute, and then on the way out of the hospital, punch somebody in an elevator for looking at him wrong. Interesting guy. So in 2000,
but he gets it right every time. That's impressive.
I don't think we know that. I think he's just crazy. I don't think that it's just a person who looks crooked. I think he just decides. That's what they're saying. He said totally unpredictable. It's weird as shit. So 2009, he is one of the main leaders of the Red and Black Squad, whatever the fuck that is.
Is that not the team that he was Flamengo?
I think it's Flamengo, but they just called him the Red and Black Squad in this article. He was the one who agreed on player bonuses with the board, but this leadership was questioned because of his instability. After the Brazilian title, other players began to say Bruno's madness became unbearable. So after they won something, then they said he was even crazier, which generally happens. You never notice that crazy people, when they can't be crazy, and this is how you can tell genuine crazy from someone who really just wanted to always be crazy.
Yeah.
Because like people like him and people like Kanye, people like that, when they were back in the day before they were anybody, they were pretty fucking sane because they had to
kept that under control, Ron.
No one would put up with their bullshit at that point. Yeah. But let's not put Ron Artest in the same category as Bruno and Kanye. Let's not.
Ron's certainly out of his mind, but in the most beautiful way.
Yeah, he's fine. No, he's not crazy. He just don't fuck with
anybody.
Don't fuck with him on the court. He'll punch you. That's fine. That's where he grew up in fucking New York. That's street ball. He was fine.
Certainly, before the Malice in the Palace thing, he was certainly out of his head.
He's a New York street ball guy. That's all those guys are. Look at Xavier McDaniel, the league had a ton of those guys. I don't know if Xavier was a New York guy, but that's just a common thing.
Ron just behaves so wild. It's like his reactions don't match the environment oftentimes.
No, the disproportionate would be a good way to put it.
It's which lends to the perception that, Christ, is he crazy?
He was crazy from day one, though. He was crazy in high school. He was crazy later. But these guys hide their crazy until they're
ready to...
Until people respect them enough to where they have to put up with their crazy.
And now I can be as crazy as I want because I've got this ability to...
Yeah.
If there's backlash to the crazy, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, guy will put on a swastika shirt and go, well, I made Gold Digger, so fuck it. Like, you can't do that. No. He wouldn't have done that shit in 1999 because just no one would have worked with him. He's not a mad genius. He's just a crazy asshole back then. Same thing with a goalkeeper. If you're a great goalkeeper and you're saving penalty kicks and winning titles, you can act a little wacky, but if you're trying to make a team, you got to be pretty fucking close to the best.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, the craziest thing you do when you require attention, money, and fame is listen to your own album. Not even listen to it, just rap it in front of everybody.
Well, yeah, but how many of them do that too? How many guys do that?
Who knows? I've only heard it done by one guy.
You've never seen Shaq rapping in the locker room? Because he did.
I've never heard him do his entire fucking album.
Oh, maybe not the entire album. Yeah, that's true.
That's what he did.
I still think I would put Ron Artest closer to Shaq than I would Bruno.
I'm talking about Kanye.
Oh, Kanye. Yeah, Kanye's an insane person.
His entire fucking album.
I thought you meant Ron Artest.
No. I'm saying when you don't need everybody to pay attention to you and you've got all the money, you can do this crazy, wacky, what you call artsy, but it's just Nazi bullshit. Or when you do need people's money, then your wacky stops at I rap my entire album minus music.
Yeah.
That's the craziest he ever was until I don't know what happened. Is it the Kardashian curse?
No, he's crazy and he saw that he could get away with it. Yeah. As you start getting bigger and bigger, you see shit you can get away with.
Yeah.
And if you're an asshole, you start saying, I'm going to get away with everything I can.
Yeah.
And you start believing in your own bullshit and you start, growing your nails out and saving your piss in jars and stuff. But that's what some people do. If they're just like, it's almost like alcohol just kind of is more of a window to the soul than it really is changes anybody, just kind of shows what they're really about.
Is that what he's doing?
No, I think that's what it is. I think fame is like alcohol. I think it's just a truth serum.
Might be true, yeah.
Which I must be really nice deep down.
Do a lot of drinking now?
No. When we drink a bottle of wine, how am I? How am I as a drunk, Jimmy?
It's time to go to sleep.
It's not me. What do? I laugh and I have a great time.
Yeah. But after the wine, it's time to go to bed.
Oh, well, that's after I smoke a couple joints and all that kind of shit, too. It's what I mean, though. But, like, when I'm drunk, what comes out is fucking laughing and happiness. I don't start getting belligerent with people at all. It's the last thing on my mind.
Yeah.
So maybe deep down, I'm not angry.
Oh, boy, did I used to.
Yeah, I know. I wasn't a drinker. I don't really drink much. And I drink like once a month. Love 2 glasses of wine. I don't think that's really drinking.
I think it's also how you treat yourself too, and how much you care for yourself anymore. Because believe me, when I was a drunk, I fucking hated me, and it showed. I was looking for any way to punish me, especially if I could get a bigger man to do it for me.
Yeah. Well, that's a truth serum. That's what I mean. You were getting to the core of your shit.
Yeah.
There.
Punch me, I dare you. And they did.
They did. They took that dare.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's part of it. So Bruno's getting famous and becoming crazy because he's famous and he's getting a lot of respect, which means he can act crazy. And as long as he can save goals, everyone just goes, well,
right.
Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman wasn't that crazy in fucking 1990 on the Pistons, was he?
Right. He was real fucking good.
He had brown hair and he ran up and down the court, and that was that. He shut the fuck up. And
when Isaiah Thomas and Joe Dumars tell you what to do, you do it.
Well, a few years of fucking 18 rebounds a game, and now all of a sudden, hey, Madonna wants to fuck me, and I can act crazy now. Turns into a different thing.
He did camp out in that fucking parking lot of the Meadow. Was it the Meadow? Well, no, the Palace. At the Palace, and with a gun, and he told the cops, "I just killed Dennis Rodman." That was the first day that he really embraced crazy.
That's when he was like, "Fuck it, I'm out there.
I'm just gonna do it now."
But apparently, his friendship with everybody on the team gets strained because. Apparently, at halftime of a loss, Bruno tried to attack another player.
Nice.
Yeah, and
as the goalie,
which is the goalie shouldn't. You're not scrapping it out with anybody. You're not kicking people in the shins and getting kicked in the shins and all that shit. You're standing there by yourself. Who are you mad at?
And blocking their kicks like that. You're the
Who are you mad at?
You win every time.
But one of the players who asked not to be identified said he doesn't have the slightest emotional control to be team captain. Where have you ever seen the team leader enter the locker room and try to punch a player, accusing him of being soft-bodied?
Oh, is that what he did?
He did that to one of his own players.
My God, not even somebody from the other team.
No, this is another thing that happened, another incident that happened. So he's getting wacky. Mm-hmm. He's getting fucking wacky, man.
Calling him soft-bodied.
No, he called the guy soft-bodied. That's why he punched him.
And then took a swing at that guy?
Yeah, you soft-bodied fuck, and then took a swing at him. Which is, I'm going to show you how soft you are. Watch this.
Yeah.
So he scored his fourth career goal from a free kick on May 26, 2010, in a match they lost 2-1. So his goal was the only goal. Okay, here we go. Beginning in late 2009. Now we know we kind of have an idea, because I think the whole last episode that we did on this guy was about where we are here in an episode. It's about 55 minutes long or something. So this we now know where Bruno is when he meets this woman that he's going to end up meeting.
Yeah. He's loves being famous.
He likes being famous, but doesn't want to be approached. He wants to do everything in private. He wants to, kind of thinks he's special a little bit.
Very friendly to the ladies.
To the ladies. He punches people on his own team. He acts crazy and wacky.
He's got kids.
Got 2 kids. This is when he starts an extramarital affair with Eliza Samudio.
Yeah.
Eliza Samudio is a 25-year-old model and aspiring actress. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, since the age of 13, this Samudio wanted to leave her hometown to be a model in Rio. Yeah. And she moved to Sao Paulo at the age of 18 to try modeling as well. That's the capital, apparently. So she didn't know anybody in town. She had no money. So she began working as a call girl. And we don't know if this is we don't know what kind of level of escorting this is.
Yeah.
We assume there's some sex involved. It's Brazil. You know what I mean? They get nude in the streets if it's party season. So, I mean.
Right. And
it's not.
She's got to be stunning hot, too, right?
Yeah, she's very pretty, but we're not sure. I'm not sure. But she wanted to support herself so she could be a model here, basically. Okay. So not the first model to turn to some escort work, put it that way.
No.
Not at all. And then you don't have to be in fucking in the United States for that. That could be anywhere. Yeah. So she participated in fashion shows and also acted in multiple porn films from 2005 to 2009.
4 years.
4 years acted in porn films in Brazil, Brazilian porn. In addition to doing sexy photo shoots for different erotica producers and things like that, all of that shit. She and Bruno knew each other since 2008. Bruno claims he met her in 2009 in May at a barbecue in Rio. According to Bruno, he met her at a party and had sex with her at the home of another Flamengo player, during which the condom broke.
Oh. Whoops.
That's what he said. So this apparently, he claimed that these parties, these big barbecues with a bunch of escorts there and model chicks are very common in the Brazilian athlete circle.
Sure. Yeah.
That's the parties they have.
That's the point of a party, isn't it?
What else are you doing? Get drunk.
Right.
Find somebody to plow. I think that's what we're working on here. Barbecue.
I don't know why. Soccer for a living.
Throw a barbecue in there. Yeah. Barbecue might have a different meaning in Brazil than it does here.
There's a spit roast, that's for sure.
That's definitely something to that. Said after the party, they began to meet frequently, and Eliza left the field of sex work to be with Bruno at his request.
Oh, he asked for this.
Yeah, you're going to be my little concubine here.
Yeah.
Or concubine in this particular case. So despite being married, he promised that he would eventually, I will separate from my wife to be with you.
I mean, that's the sentence that's always said.
That's what's said. And but in August of 2009, he ended the relationship with her after she announced that she was pregnant with his child. Oh. And he said, well, get an abortion, stupid. Right. And she said, I don't want to get an abortion. And so he broke up with her. Which is very strange. October 13th, 2009. So this is right after they've broken up. She's definitely pregnant, and he definitely knows it at this point. And he knows it's his. So October 13th, 2009, she files a complaint with the police.
Oh, shit.
Saying that the day prior, she'd been kept in private prison by Bruno and his friends Russo and Macareo.
Oh, there goes Macareo.
There he goes. And this is the other problem when you keep these guys around from before, and these guys are poor and you're rich and famous, is you like have a group of people that are willing to do whatever bidding for you so they can still hang out with you and get support from you.
Because otherwise they have nothing.
Yeah. I guess she accused them of beating her and saying Bruno pointed a gun at her head. Mm-hmm. And they, quote, forced her to take abortive substances.
Okay.
What they did is they mixed up a homemade abortion drug.
Yeah.
And tried to make her take this.
Plan B 4 months later.
4 months later, and just, mixed up with a paint stirrer in a cup in the fucking kitchen, which is not what you want out of your medicine usually. So that's crazy. So a delegate from the specialized police station for women, I guess, said that Bruno released a note in which he had denied the aggression. He said, it's not the first time she's made up a bunch of lies to try to harm me. The other time she didn't prove anything, and she won't prove it again because she made up this whole story.
Okay, so he didn't do it.
Yeah. He said, I've got to the point where yesterday I sent an email to some newspaper offices in Rio saying that I missed Flamengo training because I was with her, but I attended both morning and afternoon practices, as all of the journalists present can confirm. And then he says this. Let's do it in their own words on this bad boy and see what this idiot says. Okay. In their own words, quote, that's why I decided that I'm only going to speak through my lawyer, who will take all the necessary measures to prevent her from continuing to try to harm me. She doesn't conform because I've already made it clear that I don't want any kind of relationship with her. I'm not going to give this girl the 15 minutes of fame she so desperately craves.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. That had to be put to music because that is
she wants to be
poetry in
famous.
motion. That's what it is. She wants her 15 minutes of fame. Not she wants you to not beat her up and try to feed her homemade abortion drugs.
It's a wild claim
reasonable.
I never would have gotten to claim somebody had tried to abort my child if I was a woman. Like, that's the last choice, I think. The last claim I would make.
Yeah, is that
who would make that claim? That's such a crazy thing to say.
They held me in a private prison, beat me, held a gun to my head, and stuffed homemade abortion drugs in my mouth. Yeah.
Oh, that old chestnut? Come on.
That happens all the time.
We've heard that one 6 times this month.
Oh, we all know about that. You know what? You're like the 8th chick today to come in here and say that. So,
what do you have, 15 minutes of fame or something?
On, Jesus
You're the 15th
Christ.
person to say this week.
No, we're writing it down. Don't worry. But, I don't think anything's going to come of it. Let's just put it that way. So in 2009, a judge, holy shit, that's a long name, Ana Paula del Duque Migueles Laviola de Freitas.
Ana Paula.
Wow. Ana Paula. Yeah, it's the beginning of it. Denied Samudio's request for protection. So she asked for an order of protection, and they said, nah, you're good.
We've heard this old story.
You're good. They argued that she did not have an intimate relationship with Bruno because they broke up.
There's a way to prove that.
Yeah, I got his kid in my belly, so that's an intimate relationship. And also that she was, quote, trying to punish the aggressor under penalty of trivializing the purpose of the Maria de Pina law. Which,
we got a law of it.
There's apparently a law that's how you can get protection orders.
Yeah.
And they're saying that she was trying to punish him under this statute, but it trivializes the purpose of the law, which is to really protect women, not you fucking lying prostitute porn star. That's what it really is. You're trash and he's famous, so fuck you is really what it is.
You take loads for a living. Yeah. We don't believe you.
Exactly. That's exactly what it actually is, even though, he knocked her up. So
it's very evident, right?
Yeah. Yeah. By now it must be. Christ, she's got to be 4 or 5 months pregnant.
It's crazy. She could get. I mean, the DNA test will do it.
That easy. And this is 2009. This isn't 1973 or anything. So anyway, a newspaper extra published the accusation of false imprisonment and threats, and Bruno was pissed.
Yeah.
He's mad.
Yeah.
With the newspaper under his arm, he walked around the training center completely distraught, asking all the reporters, "Who's from Extra? Who's from Extra? Which one of you guys
who
is
wrote
from
this
Extra?"
shit?
Yeah, walking around looking to abuse the media here. He wanted to make the author of the report literally swallow the newspaper. He was saying, "I have this newspaper because whoever wrote it's going to eat this newspaper. I'm going to force them to physically." But he never found the reporter.
The author. Yeah.
And he ended up being calmed down by his lawyers who said, "Hey, here's what you can do. Wait for the baby to be born and take a DNA test. And then when it's not yours, never talk about it again." Yeah. How about that? Yeah. So this is Bruno. Oh, no, this is his security guard friend, Marceleo. Yeah. This girl, Eliza, was very disturbing. She called me and other players asking to send a message to Bruno. Very disturbing.
Yeah.
But
she's stalking us.
Yeah, and you can have groupies, and you can have all that shit, but once you knock one of them up, at that point, you have upgraded her status from groupie to mother of your future child that you have to deal with on a legal level of you're all on the same
you're going to see her on probably 2 times a year, Mother's
at
Day
least.
and that kid's birthday.
You're going to pick that, Christmas time, some shit. So they said in January 2010 in Flamengo's in their preseason, Bruno appeared uncomfortable. He asked to give an interview and announced that he was tired of the reputation of being a troublemaker. Oh. Well, you did kind of cause it.
Why are you? Yeah, everybody stop writing lies. I don't start trouble.
Everybody stop noticing when I do fucked up shit. Could you do that, please?
Close your eyes.
Yeah, sure. I street race and punch people and, kidnap women and feed them abortive drugs that I made up in my own garage and everything. But still.
Stop looking at me.
Stop just making me uncomfortable is what it is. He said that's what he was tired of. He said he wanted to change and said he was tired of appearing to be on the wrong side of fame. But that's all bullshit, obviously.
Is it?
Yeah. Bruno's a mess. They said that there's an incident here at Morro da Chatuba where I guess another player, Adriano, his jealous fiancée, Joanna Machado, broke into the player's car, and Bruno argued with her when she arrived in the favela. And they said worse was his attempts to defend the emperor afterwards. The emperor? Hirohito? What are we talking about? Does Brazil have an emperor? I don't think so.
Do they have an emperor?
I don't
What's
think they
Brazil's leader? Don't they have a president?
Yeah, they have a president. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know who it is at this moment, so they definitely have a president. Yeah. They said, which of you is married and has never fought with your wife, is what Bruno's. He's defending the guy. Who didn't argue? Who didn't even go out on a limb with his wife, right, man? There's no way. In a fight between husband and wife, no one puts the spoon in, namesake. There's got to be some serious slang translation there that just doesn't work in English, because in a fight between husband and wife, no one puts the spoon in is a real weird fucking thing to say. And then namesake.
Unless he's talking about that old penis is a spoon where there's competition, because namesake, you know what I mean?
Okay.
No other men get involved, I think is what that means.
I'm listening.
Nobody puts the spoon in. Nobody tries to
put like a wedge between them. That's what I was thinking of. Like the spoon would be like to scoop one of them away or some shit. I don't know.
Perhaps. I mean, the
you might be right though. I'm not denying it for sure.
Trying to yank him from being the guy.
Maybe. So they said this Bruno here, I guess, was warned by the president, I think, of the league, that he had to publicly apologize to the women who he yelled at, who was other players' wives. event or whatever. Apparently here, and they let him go. On the night of that party, Bruno rode a horse there and rode through the favela.
What?
They said, which was commented on with laughter by other players. He wanted to show what a big shot he is, so he rode a horse through the shit neighborhood.
Through the hood, man.
Through the hood to show who he is. Yeah, this is hilarious. Bruno, after a loss to Universidad de Chile, so the University of Chile, I guess. At Maracana, he got booed, and he said he was screwing himself for the fans, which that would be a spectacle. Yeah. How do you do that? You get in that net and you do that, and I want to see it because that would be interesting.
I brought the fist, so they're going to watch.
That's it. And the next day, he was questioned in front of the press, and he had to apologize again, saying he was screwing himself for the fans. I think what he was saying was that I'm staying on a shit team that I'm too good for because I love the fans. So I'm such a magnanimous fuck. You know what I mean? I
deserve to be elsewhere, winning trophies and championships and whatever the fuck you win.
I'm such a good guy that I got to stay here. Yeah. I love the fans in this area. I just love them so much.
He's Devin Booker, James, staying with the Phoenix Suns for 20 years, regardless of how much fucking punishment this is going to be for him.
Regardless of how many rebuilding periods will be in that 20 years, because there's going to be about Phoenix every decade has about three rebuilds, right?
This poor bastard. I just can't.
Yeah. No, he's the Kevin Johnson of his day. It's like they just keep rebuilding, and he's going to stay steady.
He's definitely beloved in Arizona, but he doesn't even live there.
Well, who the fuck would? It's 150 degrees.
James, he works there. He lives in L.A. and flies in every game.
Yeah, as you would if you made $50 million a year. Who the fuck is living in Phoenix? Every day. I would go outside and go, I'm too rich for this heat. What the fuck? I'm too rich to feel this uncomfortable. I shouldn't be this uncomfortable.
I don't even know. He's got to have a place in Phoenix,
sure
right?
He's got somewhere in case he wants to stay.
Apartment somewhere? Yeah.
Some one of those condos or some shit downtown or some shit.
Downtown
He makes so much money, he could have a giant mansion that he goes to twice a year.
You think he only makes $50 a year?
No. That was just a one of those.
I'll bet he makes $100 a year, right?
If you put his fucking his endorsements on there and everything else, fuck yeah. I was just saying in general, 50 million sounds like a big number.
Yeah, 50 million would make me live somewhere else too. If my job was in Phoenix, fuck that.
You could fly me there on a private plane every goddamn day because I'm not fucking living there. I ain't living there.
I wouldn't even mind riding in the back of a car every day.
No, truck me in. I don't give a fuck.
It's 5 hours.
I'm not doing it. So February 10th, 2000. That's hilarious, though. He's the face of Phoenix, and he's like, I don't like that place.
I don't live there.
I don't fucking live there.
Literally lives in a giant house on top of a hill in LA.
Fuck yeah, he does. Absolutely. So on February 10th, 2010, in Sao Paulo, where Eliza Samudio was living at a friend's house since discovering her pregnancy, the child is born.
All right.
Okay. So it's a boy.
Yeah.
So Bruno's got a son here.
Is that right?
Yes. That doesn't help Bruno doesn't see the baby, say I have a son and soften. You know, like in movies, the guy doesn't want anything to do with it, but then he sees the son and he's like, oh man, that's my son. And then he's all of a sudden he's out buying a baseball glove for the kid and shit. You know what I mean?
I hate him. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's not how this happens here at all.
Uh-oh.
No, Bruno becomes increasingly unstable throughout this period.
He hates this baby.
Does not want this baby at fucking all, or the woman around the baby or anything else.
I hate that baby.
I hate that baby. Right around this time, he threatened a journalist again.
Oh.
Saying to, quote, be careful what you write because something could happen to you.
Jesus.
So basically threaten to have the guy killed or beat up or something.
You can't say that.
No. That would get you a visit from the FBI in the United States.
Yeah.
For sure.
You evidently can say that in Brazil?
I think so. I think in Brazil, that's considered flirting in Brazil. It's
Careful what you write.
It's all right. I might kill you or I might fuck you. You never know.
You don't know.
All right, well, as long as you can play goalie, we're fine with either.
Flip the coin.
So, yeah, he says one of the people who knew him said, quote, he felt like Superman. He felt like nothing would hit him. He refused to acknowledge paternity and accused her of wanting to give the, quote, coup of the belly because he has money.
Coup of the belly.
Yeah. The coup of the belly. This baby that she's had, which I've never heard of a baby referred to as a coup of the belly, but that's pretty good.
Never heard of a baby as a coup, regardless of what it is.
Yeah, I guess you could really stir things up and, change things around a lot, but of the belly.
Really overthrow a government with that baby.
With that baby. Well, you overthrow the body, I guess, with the baby, and the belly is certainly overthrown by the baby. So Eliza files a paternity claim after arriving to live with her son in Rio de Janeiro in hotels paid for by Bruno. So now he's paying for hotels for her. Yeah. Okay. Then she started demanding child support and started accusing him of assault, for which he was indicted.
Oh.
So, yeah. So he went from, I want nothing to do with you, that's not my baby, to I'll pay for hotels in Rio for you to stay in.
Yeah.
And then when she wants child support, apparently that was the assault happened. He said, I'm not giving you child support.
Bridge too far, yeah.
And then apparently she claims he hit her at that point.
So, but he's putting her up, taking care of her and the baby. That's child support, isn't it?
Well, it's paying for her hotel rooms. Mm-hmm. But that's it. It's not a monthly. It's not an income.
This baby's head. If he's not giving her any spending money at all.
It's not even a permanent roof. If he stops paying for rooms, they could be kicked out tomorrow. It's a hotel. Yeah. So that's how
tomorrow at 11. Yeah,
he's putting her just in a real temporary little box here and going, you should be happy with this. And she's like, I'd like, no, you knocked me up. Now you gotta pay for it, basically.
Help take care of this baby.
Yeah. So apparently, Eliza, was at Bruno's farm in Esmeraldas, Minas Gerais, at his request. He invited her over.
Yeah.
She went out to the farm on June 4th, 2010, with Bruno. It was under the guise of he's willing to negotiate some kind of settlement with her.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. And she was still holding out. She was telling her friend she was still holding out hope of reconciliation with him. She wanted to.
Oh.
She thought maybe he'd still leave his wife and marry her, and they could raise this baby together and all that kind of shit. But anyway, she goes to the farm. She tells people she's going to his farm.
Yeah.
And then she never is seen again.
After
she disappears.
She went to the farm.
Her friends say she didn't come back. Mm-hmm. She just is gone from this farm. So they ask Bruno, and Bruno says she left the farm. That's it. She said she left the farm on her own, and she left her child with a mutual friend of ours.
Why would she do that?
She just left the child be, I guess, lost all hope and said, fuck it, and just like threw the baby aside and threw like her hat over there and just said, I'm walking off into the farmlands. I don't care.
This has been a nice visit. It changed my mind on parenting.
Yeah. I would fuck yeah. So the baby ends up being found in a favela, so in the shit area here in Ribeirão das Neves. And Diane, his wife, suspected of having left him there, was also investigated because they investigate Bruno and they investigate her because they think maybe she took the baby and left it there.
Off.
She's like an accomplice to all this, basically.
Yeah.
So on June 26, 2010, the civil police, 3 weeks later, the police declared Bruno is a suspect in the disappearance.
Uh-oh.
So that's out there publicly now.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, July 2nd, 2010, the police make a press release here, and they reveal some facts that were given to them here. They say, quote, the General Department of Technical Scientific Police of the Civil Police of Rio de Janeiro, this is just like the lab people, basically, informs that a group of substances considered abortifacient was found in the urine of Eliza Samudio.
Oh.
The experts who analyzed the collected material, given the complexity of the case, to send the material to the UFRJ laboratory, with which the civil police maintains an agreement in order to conform 100% to the analysis made by them, excluding any possibility of such grouping belonging to other compounds. According to experts, such a mixture can also be found in the simultaneous consumption of alcoholic beverages with tobacco.
Oh, what?
They said that the final result will be ready Monday, July 5th. So apparently this is from when she claimed he kidnapped her and tried to feed her abortion drugs. They had done a urine test that has finally now gone through the labs and come back that she had shit in her system, just like she said. Now, that doesn't prove he did it, but it proves she had it in her system anyway.
And somebody's saying that it's not even that uncommon of a thing that she has in her. It's the same as alcohol and tobacco drinks?
That seems like I don't know what that can make inside your body here.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what the science in Brazil is really here. But anyway, July 7th, 2010, the goalkeeper of Brazil's most popular team surrendered to police probing the disappearance and possible murder of his ex-girlfriend in a case that transfixed the soccer-crazed country. Yeah. So they bring Bruno in. Oh. He and a friend were ordered arrested late on Tuesday with public prosecutors, while public prosecutors investigate the disappearance of Eliza. Police cars arrived at Bruno's plush house near a Rio beach on Wednesday morning, but they did not find the goalkeeper or his friend Luis Henrique Ferreiro Romeo, known as Spaghetti.
Who's that?
That's his friend Spaghetti. Luis Henrique Ferrero Romeo, Spaghetti.
He just loves the stuff.
Loves it, or he's long and thin. We're not sure.
Big fan. We can't, everywhere we go,
so good.
Like, he'll even eat the O's. He doesn't care.
He doesn't care. He goes, you guys got spaghetti, right? And we're like, I mean, we can dig you some up, I guess. So 2 weeks later, the two of them went to the police station. Neither was charged, though.
Okay.
They're arrested for questioning.
Yeah.
Here. And they say, that this goes back to her filing complaints against him, and they think that this is kind of retaliation and all that kind of thing. They say Bruno, who like many Brazilian footballers is known by one name, has denied involvement in Samudio's disappearance in comments to media. Yeah. Bruno's wife was arrested in the player's home city of Belo Horizonte, north of Rio, which is 270 miles north of Rio. Rio de Janeiro's Flamengo is the league champion and by far Brazil's most popular club. Wow. Its distinctive black and red striped shirts worn by Brazilians from the beaches of Rio to the remote villages. I've seen those jerseys too, the black and red striped jerseys. Yeah. A source told Reuters that Bruno's arrest was ordered after a 17-year-old cousin of Bruno testified that he and Spaghetti had kidnapped Zamudio and driven her to Bruno's house in Belo Horizonte.
Spaghetti said this?
No. This is Bruno's 17-year-old cousin. Because remember our long-standing rule of never have a teenager in your hit squad? Yeah. This is where it came from.
Yeah.
This is why.
Always a child, yeah.
Never have a 17. They're not hardened for this shit.
My kid is 17. I'm not telling him shit.
Fuck no. You got to have a grown man named Spaghetti do your bidding for you. That guy will do it. He'll get it done. Ties between soccer and crime have been in the spotlight after Adriano, another Flamengo player and former striker for the national team, was investigated for alleged links to drug traffickers in Rio. Okay, Adriano, who denied wrongdoing and has not been charged, has since moved to Italy's Roma club. So he's like, I'll just switch continents. Don't worry about it. I'll be over here.
I'll leave. I don't care.
Oh, my God. So July 7th, 2010, the 17-year-old cousin here, here they say that Ferriara Romayo, Bruno's friend known as Macareo, to take Eliza Zamudo to the farm in Minas Gerais. Macareo had already planned everything and told the teenager to hide in the trunk of the car. Now, I thought it was Spaghetti who was doing this. Now they're saying it's Macareo. Different guys. With the car already moving, this is the 17-year-old story.
Yeah.
They said that the smallest bead that was in the vehicle's suitcase and jumped into the back seat with his gun drawn. Okay, so the guy from the trunk jumped into the back seat with his gun drawn, knocked down the barrier there. And and they said to Eliza, "You lost Eliza?" Well, she's being kidnapped, so clearly not. They said Eliza managed to, this is what the kid said. The kid said Eliza managed to grab the gun and shoot the minor, pull the trigger, but the gun was empty.
Oh, no.
So they held her at gunpoint. She got the gun and fucking, it was over, and the gun's
Tried
empty.
to rectify this situation, and they didn't even put a bullet in the gun.
She's a bad bitch, though.
Yeah,
she gets kidnapped and says, "I'll take that gun from you," and point it right at you, motherfucker. Then
don't fuck with a mom.
No, apparently not. Especially a mom who's been in the porn industry.
Yeah.
You know?
She's
the Brazilian porn industry.
Yeah.
What the hell do you think goes on down there?
Oh, Jesus. Yeah. The amount of bullshit you got to put up with to be an American one. Golly.
Oh, that's got to be awful down there. So the 17-year-old said he managed to recover the gun and, in a gentlemanly fashion, hit Eliza 3 times in the head with the butt of the gun. So pistol whip. Yeah. I like to pistol whip a new mom. That really lets them know what's going on. Yeah. Now, this is all according to this young man also. Now, we don't know what goes on in a Brazilian police station. Yeah. We don't know what kind of, convincing takes place there. We don't know anything about this or the level of veracity to this, but we're going to read what his statement is. And the manager, he said he pistol whipped her. Then he said that the journey continued to Bruno's farm. He said that he, the 17-year-old, slept in one room. Spaghetti, or also, as he's also known, Pasta, either one, Pasta or Spaghetti.
Yeah.
Either or.
That's what it is.
Yeah. He slept in another room. Mm-hmm. And then Eliza, with her son, slept in a third room. Okay. So they're not like monitoring her or anything. She's in her room. And there was also a maid, is what they said at the house, too. How'd you like to be that maid? These people fucking bust in. The next day, he says Eliza did not remain locked up. They say that Sergio Rosa Sales, who arrived that day to began to watch Eliza, according to the 17-year-old. Mm-hmm. He said he saw Sergio hand over a phone to Eliza to call a friend from Sao Paulo, or in Sao Paulo, I guess. Sergio told her that everything was fine and that she would receive money and an apartment in Belo Horizonte. But if she didn't say, basically, if you do what we tell you to do, you're going to get all sorts of good stuff. Yeah. You're going to get a house, you're going to get money, you're going to get taken care of. But if you don't say what we tell you to say, we'll kill you. Oh. Which is a big difference.
Yeah, I mean,
we'll either take great care of you or murder you, one or the other, no in between. So they said that, and this is the child again, the 17-year-old, said the next day Bruno arrived at the farm by taxi, as he had flown into Belo Horizonte and then taxied over. Yeah. The teenager says that he heard Bruno tell Macareo and Sergio that they should solve the problem, that he didn't want any problems for his side, and that he, Bruno, wouldn't and doesn't need to know anything. Okay. Just you do what you need. You need to take care of the problem, basically.
Tell me nothing.
Tell me nothing. Just you need to solve the problem.
Solve the problem.
Now, according to the what he also says, he says that Macareo and Sergio said they couldn't release Eliza, as then the problem would be even bigger now. Mm-hmm. So Bruno then, because he said you need to solve it, and they said, well, we can't get rid of her because we've held her captive and hit her with a pistol 3 times. That's going to be worse.
That's not good.
So Bruno then said. He said he didn't want the problem to happen again with Eliza, is what he said. He said that he already it had already happened. He said murder the first time. He said murder's already happened once, and I don't want the problem to happen again with Eliza, apparently.
Oh.
He remained at the farm for 2 hours, Bruno did, then called a taxi to take him to the airport as he wanted to return to Rio right away.
Right.
The next day, the 17-year-old, Macareo and Sergio and Eliza and the baby all get into Bruno's car and head toward Belo Horizonte.
Yeah.
The teenager said they arrived at a place that looked like a farm, and they were greeted by a tall black man named Nenem, N-E-N, accented E-M. Nenem? I don't know. Then he says, this is the minor, that Nenem took Eliza, tied her arms with a rope, and, quote, gave her a tie, suffocating her.
Oh.
Then Nenem asked everyone to leave the place. Sergio was carrying the baby. That's what he says. Now, he said soon after, according to the young man, Nenem passed by them carrying a sack and headed toward a kennel where there are four Rottweilers kept.
He's just carrying a sack.
Yes. The teenager said he also saw the moment when Nenem took Eliza's hand away, hand meaning not with the rest of her body, and threw it at the dogs. So fed the dogs a woman's hand.
Uh-huh.
They said this teenager said that Eliza's bones were concreted into the same plot of land where she was killed. Huh. Now, with this child's testimony, they release Diane, who was Bruno's wife.
Okay.
They release her because her name doesn't come up at all during this. So they're like, okay, she wasn't involved in this, at least as far as we can prove or that anybody says. But according to the minor, Diane went to Bruno's farm after the crime and only learned that Eliza's baby had been left there. So she did know that Eliza's baby's been left here.
She's aware of something.
She's aware at the best case scenario. This is like John Mulaney's wheelchair joke.
Yeah.
You know, best case scenario, it's a miracle.
Yeah.
You know, best case scenario, she dropped the baby off and just didn't want anything to do with it. Right. Now they're going to raise this baby. Worst case scenario is, where the fuck is she? This is a baby.
Yeah.
So this is very interesting. Now, the 17-year-old also said he did not speak to Bruno about what happened to Eliza, but believes that Macareo told him the outcome of the kidnapping, meaning he thinks that that dude told Bruno what happened.
Yeah.
Even though Bruno said he doesn't want to know. So the police go to a house in Vespaisano. According to the civil police, firefighters, experts, and delegates from the Rio de Janeiro and Minas Gerais entered the property with their teams. So they bring all the crime scene people, the SWAT teams, they bring everybody. Police officers at the scene said 10 Rottweilers, 4 adults and 6 puppies, and a stray dog were removed from the property. The animals must be taken to the Zoonosis Center in Belo Horizonte. I guess that's their humane society. Neighbors said the dogs are mean. They're mean, they bite.
Yeah.
And at the gate of the property, there is a warning sign about the fucking dogs also, that there are dogs here. Yeah. The Civil Police Press Office reported that the teams arrived at the house guided by the 17-year-old who gave a statement. He was also taken to Minas Gerais. The street was cordoned off. In addition to civil and military police, firefighters specializing in excavations are on site as well. Because they're trying to dig bones out of concrete, and they don't know where this fucking baby is the other problem.
Right. But we're going to dig bones out of concrete. That's
hard to do.
Intense, yeah.
So July 7th, 2010. A police chief says that Bruno is indicted and as the mastermind behind the kidnapping. Why else would these people do it?
Right.
They have no beef with her.
Dog in this fight.
No. Pasta's got no beef here. You know what I'm saying?
No.
So A delegate from the Rio Homicide Division said that Bruno was indicted as the mastermind and that his ex-girlfriend has been missing since the beginning of June. He also said the minor who gave testimony and the athlete's friend, Luis Enrique Ferreira Romayo, known as Macareo or Spaghetti, were the perpetrators of the kidnapping. Bruno and Macareo had the request for temporary arrest ordered on the morning of Wednesday the 7th, and they are on the run. So they haven't found them yet. They've just put an arrest warrant out for them.
Where do we think they might be?
That's the thing. And if guys who are from the favela, they can really wade into there. And it'd be hard to find them. They know a lot of people, and he's got money too. So it's like he's got every resource there is.
Put on some dirty clothes and a sombrero, lean against a building.
That's it. Make a shadow.
You've disappeared. Yeah.
Make a shadow that someone can paint, and then we're on to it. So the delegate said that 15 teams from Rio are on the streets looking for the two of them. In the afternoon, the police were at the home of the now ex-wife, Diane. Now they're saying ex-wife. She was his wife 2 days ago, to see if Bruno was there. They also look for a car that he owns. They said that from Tuesday night until early Wednesday afternoon, the police department received 15 calls about the possible location of Bruno. They said also, according to the police here, from June 26th until Wednesday, 30 calls were received about Eliza's disappearance. They said in the same period, in Minas Gerais, they received 120 complaints about the disappearance of Eliza Zamudio, according to the press office here. 181 is a service of the state secretary. 181 is the call, like 911. Okay. On this total number of complaints, 30 reportedly left Rio de Janeiro. Okay. One of the goalkeeper's lawyers, though, 'cause Bruno has lawyers, stated that he will file a habeas corpus petition. He was at the Rio courthouse to pick up a copy of the request for the athlete's temporary arrest. This guy, the lawyer, reported that he does not know where Bruno is. He said, I will file a habeas corpus because in my understanding, there's no basis for arrest. As soon as I can contact Bruno, it will be clear that he will report to the police, meaning he'll turn himself in, no problem.
No problem.
No problem here.
Trust him.
Yeah, trust him. He's going to be like OJ. Yeah, no, we'll be there at 11 a.m. Where is he? He's on the fucking freeway with Al Cowlings. Oh, shit. So regarding the minor's testimony, which would have complicated the situation of the goalkeeper and his friend, they said that he will still decide whether to request an annulment of the testimony. So you can get it tossed out, basically. If the kid's testimony is tossed out, there's no evidence so far.
What are you going to do? Yeah.
So they said that the 17-year-old who was apprehended at his house gave the statement for more than 7 hours. So they arrested him, pulled him in, and interrogated a 17-year-old, and he told them all of this.
7 hours.
7 hours. The interrogation could help police unravel the entire mystery surrounding the disappearance. Mm-hmm. Now, he was found at the player's home on Tuesday afternoon following a complaint. Bruno was at home and opened the door for the police. According to the police, the minor's testimony was considered enlightening despite the fact that he contradicted himself several times. But during the interrogation, he confirmed that Eliza's dead. According to police, the teenager lied at times. During interrogation, according to the police, he said that he helped Spaghetti take Eliza and the baby from Rio to the goalkeeper's farm there as well. And then other times he said he didn't really help. So he went back on his level of involvement. He pulled back a whole lot on, which is pretty common for people who are in that situation. Okay. Now, after the disappearance of Eliza, Eliza's mother asked the court for custody of the son, of Eliza's son.
Sure, yeah.
Which was granted. Okay. Eliza's father pleaded in court for custody of his grandson and recognition of paternity by Bruno, which I would say, this is sad, but if you want recognition of paternity, I would say murdering her is the biggest recognition of paternity you're ever going to find.
Generally,
that's the one.
Especially in these situations. It's
That's it.
Why the fuck else?
If it wasn't his, he would have just been like, here's your blood test, bitch. Go fuck with that guy. Go bother him for money. But nope, he said, I'm going to kill her, which means that's my baby.
I'm going to blow her up.
Custody was then revoked from the maternal grandfather because it was discovered, one of her fathers here, it was discovered that he had raped a 10-year-old girl some years ago.
Nice.
And it was also discovered that he allowed men to abuse his daughter during her childhood in exchange for money. So he fucking turned his own daughter out. So this Eliza, when she turned to that shit, that's because that's what her father instilled in her from a young age, which is when you do this to your kids, that's the life you're giving them. Yeah. To be abused, to be fucking prostitutes, to be porn stars in not good conditions, not like, this is crazy. So that's fucking awful.
And they get custody of that man or that baby to that man.
To them. What do you think he's going to do? So then that same day, Eliza's father faces rape charges in Paranea. According to the lawsuit, he's accused of abusing the 10-year-old girl. His lawyer says he will appeal and the case has not been concluded. Jesus Christ. But he is sentenced to serve, you, sir, may fuck off, 8 years in prison, you fucking scumbag.
Pretty good.
For the crime of rape against a 10-year-old girl. Jesus Christ. He appealed the sentence twice, and the last appeal was unanimously rejected by the judges of the 5th Criminal Court of the Court of Justice of Paranea. I think that's how you say that. He responds to the case in freedom and can appeal again. So he's out of jail on appeal. Yeah. This is a child rapist.
Yeah.
And they said, well, I mean, while you're appealing, you can just go out there where, there's no kids or anything. Think about that.
If you're not convicted because there's an appeal, but he was convicted, right?
He's convicted and sentenced.
And then you start the appeal process. You can't let him out. They've been sentenced.
That's fucking crazy, man. So, wow. Jesus Christ.
A lot of governments love to do that shit. That's fucked up.
That's crazy. And then he was hospitalized then, Eliza's father, after falling ill while following the latest information about the case of his daughter's disappearance. He received medical attention and remains under the influence of tranquilizers. Huh.
Nice.
According to the lawyer here, Eliza's father had already fallen ill on Monday. They said he left the hospital under the influence of tranquilizers and is experiencing a lot of chest pain. He is dying every day. Good. Great. Before he can do that in prison. That's where he can die.
Yeah.
Before he's dead, let's go ahead and put him behind fucking bars so he can die miserably. You child rapist asshole. Yeah, fucking jackass. So they said following the conclusion of the police investigation, charges against him were from 2004. The case remains under judicial secrecy because the victim is a minor. That's good. They said that in the judgment record dated April 29th of this year, the second appeal was analyzed and dismissed by Judge Lauro Augusto Fabricio de Mello. In the text, he assures that the criminal materiality is fully proven by the police report. The judge also cited the carnal conjunction examination report, I think that's a rape kit, in which was confirmed that the authorship is certain, falling on the defendant, who is the victim's father. So it's his own kid.
Jesus God.
That he did this to. Not just a 10-year-old.
It's a daughter?
His 10-year-old.
Golly.
That is disgusting. And according to Mello's account, in the cases of sexual crimes, the victim's word, when in harmony with other investigative elements, is conclusive proof of the existence of the crime.
Jesus.
So in the process, this asshole, Luis Carlos, is Eliza's dad, explains that the victim is his daughter with his wife's sister at the time of rape. His daughter with his wife's, oh my God. So he fucked his wife's sister and knocked her up, and then raped his niece, who's also his daughter. Then raped his daughter niece.
That's terrible.
This is, Jesus Christ. Ugh. I have to shake my head. I have like a kaleidoscope my eyes are doing right now. This is crazy.
It's just any woman in his orbit is not safe. And not even woman, just anybody with
any
female parts.
human. Yeah. He fucked his wife's sister and impregnated her.
Yeah.
Wow. He said he separated from his wife in 95 and that the extramarital relationship, which gave rise to the girl, quote, daughter niece, it's in the court documents as daughter niece, was discovered by his ex-wife the following year. How do you think she took that he's banging her sister? The girl's testimony was accompanied by psychologists. She would need therapy just because she's got a father uncle. Never mind getting raped also.
Yeah.
Just the existence of Uncle Dad.
Yeah.
You need a lot of therapy. Like, you need help.
It's fucked up. Yeah.
She further reported that the sexual abuse was committed after her father uncle provided alcoholic beverages. Jesus, it gets worse.
Had to get a child drunk.
Oh, my God, this is even worse. Mixed with juice or soda to her and her half-brother/cousin as well. I don't know if you've had any sexual contact with the boy or not. Doesn't seem like it. Wow. So Luis Carlos, Eliza's dad's lawyer, confirmed the case, but said he could not comment on the case because it was under judicial secrecy. He said he'll appeal the conviction. They say, we cannot say that he is guilty. The case has not become final, and that is why he is innocent. Mm-hmm. Wow. I mean, we just
That's why he's innocent.
We got to unpack this whole thing. Like, this poor woman, this poor fucking lady's life sucks. Eliza had just a fucking, imagine that's your life, your whole life.
I mean, that's how you get into that profession is because you've got nothing happening generally. Yeah.
Horribly abused and not.
Jenna Jameson yanked her own braces off her teeth with pliers. Because they made her look young, and that's how she got into stripping, which eventually got her into porn. You gotta have you have a lack of any ability to succeed in anything that you deem as able, and then the beginning though is just shit people around you that refuse to support you the right way.
Yeah, and I don't even know if it's like that so much for like. There was a while there in the 90s and 2000s where porn was kind of mainstream.
Yeah, I think Jenna did that.
She did do it.
Yeah,
she was a big part of that. Well, I think the Pamela Anderson, Tommy Lee tape actually is what did it.
That certainly did it. But she was never in porn until that.
Yes, and that's right around that same time, and it blew her up too. And I think people started looking for it, and it became like mainstream and boogie nights and all that shit.
Yeah, celebrity sex tapes did it. You're right.
Yeah, and then it became like it wasn't that bad because it's like these famous people are putting their sex tapes are out there. So what's the difference if it's some person over here? And there was a lot of these ladies I remember because I used to listen to Loveline back in the day that have a porn star on once in a while.
Yeah.
And they were signed to these deals where they did like 6 movies per year and they made like $200,000 a year to do 6 movies. And that's not that bad of a gig. You know what I mean?
Pretty decent. Yeah.
That's pretty decent and stuff like that. So they kind of had a lot more control over it. And they weren't just like being sucked in and abused and shit out the sides like they are. I think that's how it is now because it's all, I don't know what money is in it now.
Yeah. Well, and then that 6-picture deal at $200,000, that'll take care of this year. But then what? You know what I mean? That's what they did too, was that they'd get these girls into these contracts, guys too, but mostly the girls, where they would get them into these contracts where it was just enough money to make them feel like they're making some money, but then they got to keep working. It's like, it's the old dope dealer thing.
All these girls would also they only had 6 films a year or whatever, so they would go every weekend to strip clubs where they would be like special headliners and they'd go make fucking $10,000 in a weekend.
Yeah, that feature dance thing was legit.
Yeah, they'd go make $10,000 in a weekend then. So I mean, they're making tons of money, these ladies back in the day, whereas nowadays doesn't exist anymore.
Cast their junk and sell that at Fascinations
that's the other thing.
Whatever.
It was all one big, that
was Jenna's model. Jenna did that with Club Jenna. She would sell shit she would make, and then it would just be traffic to her website. She would make money that way, but then she would sell the toys, and that was huge.
That was huge. It was just, you could be a legitimate businesswoman who's making, well, I'm going to do this for 5 years, make all this money, and then be the fuck out of this. And you could actually pull that off back in the day.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know. They don't sell porn, so who the hell knows?
That woman was making money hand over fist. She had a Club Jenna ice sculpture.
Yeah.
In her
I know a bunch of people
rooms.
that know her brother. Her brother is out there.
Yeah?
Yeah, she has a brother that's out
Is
there.
he still in
people that know her
Phoenix
brother.
or in
He was.
Arizona?
I don't know about now.
I mean, she's long
25
gone.
years ago. 20 years. When she was there, he was there. Yeah. So,
her house was magical, though. It was just
why were you there?
beautiful. My friend was the carpet cleaner for her. Yeah. Isn't that wild? He actually cleaned her carpets, though.
I was actually, for a second, I was thinking, like, what's Jimmy doing? He's not normally like a name dropper, like is hanging out. So I'm like, what's going on here? So that's why I had to ask. I had to see if you were going to be like, oh, well, I met her and whatever. And you're like, my friend is a carpet cleaner for her, which is that's the Jimmy I know. I like it.
He was my roommate,
you're back.
and he was like, I'm going to
you
Jenna's
lost your
house
fucking
tonight.
mind for a minute.
It's a big party. Do you want to go?
Yes.
So I fucking want to see what the big party is. It's not what you'd think, really. It's just a bunch of people doing coke and drinking booze.
Yeah. There's finger foods around. You can't have your pussy out. It just doesn't work.
You can't have.
You could lose a cheese puff in there. That's not going to happen.
Can't have a weird man with a motorcycle mustache's balls out around the
No, we don't need any of that shit. That'd be weird as fuck.
Yeah, everybody looks weird, and it's just a weird sleazy environment.
Yeah, the porn industry is sleazy. It just is.
Yeah, and you don't want to see a porn star offset. It's not. If you're attracted to that person at all, you're not going to be attracted to them offset.
Probably not.
It's very weird to see them in tight jeans. A man.
Yeah, with the giant bulge popping.
Big bulge and just giant thighs. It's just
and they all have big forearms too from leaning on them from fucking. They're all doing constant
over tweezed eyebrows. It's incredibly tan because they just got out of a tanning salon.
Yeah.
It was a bizarre time.
It is a bizarre time. But yeah, this is different. This is what abused. This is the story of an abused woman who was pimped out by her father,
right?
Who then was pretty and wanted to be a model but couldn't make ends meet, and then said, "Well, I know something that makes money because my father introduced." She probably wouldn't have done that. She probably went and got a job somewhere or something.
Sure. Yeah.
But her father fucking primed her for this. This is disgusting.
The man's banging everybody and everything and making
monster.
And not even to a point of just to satisfy some gross sexual urge, to a point of making children. It's so wild.
And then having your fucking daughter niece.
Yeah, that's so
crazy. That's fucking crazy. So the investigation continues. Eliza's been missing since early June, and they're every day there's new shit in the papers about it, new shit in the media all about it, and they say that they have a statement saying that she's dead and all this type of shit, but they still haven't found Bruno yet.
All right.
July 9th, 2010, police say they arrest 3 more suspects in the case.
Oh.
All 3 were found together in the city of Igarape. The word rape is in there. It's Iga rape.
Rape. They went to a place called Rape.
They went to IGA rape.
IGA rape, like the grocery store rape.
Of rape. In Minas Gerais. Gerais. The police believe the 2 of them had contact with Eliza's baby.
All right.
The 3 people suspected of involvement in the disappearance of Eliza were arrested, according to preliminary information released by the civil police of Minas Gerais. The suspect, Flavio Caetano de Arroyo, and Wemerson Marquez and Ellenson Vitor da Silva were all found together in this area. Oh, all 3 had been issued arrest warrants by judicial authorities on Wednesday. According to the investigation, Silva, Ellen Ilson Vitor de Silva, is the administrator of Bruno's ranch in Esmeraldas, where she was allegedly brought. The police believe that Silva and the other one had contact with the baby. So they think they were the ones that took the baby.
This baby's tiny, right?
Yeah, this been less than a year old.
Yeah.
Less than he was born in February, and this is July is when this, or June is when this was going on. So brand new. The defense attorney who represents the three suspects, wonder who's paying for that, said that he advised his clients not to surrender to the police.
No?
No surrender. He said, no surrender, no giving in. Fuck that. We go hard, we go strong. We never give up.
No quarter to the prosecutor.
No quarter. Unless you're wounded in a shootout, you go down with the ship.
We do not surrender.
Wow, that's fucking insane. Okay. So they say the goalkeeper Bruno, his friend Macaroni there, and former police Marcos Aparecido de Santos, a.k.a. Bola, will spend the night at a prison. Oh, when they catch them. They said, we have a temporary arrest warrant, which allows us to keep them in prison for 30 days and can be extended for another 30 days. Okay. So there you can arrest someone and then make a case against them for 30 days. And then you have to either present it or let them go, I feel like.
You only have a month to do it, though.
Or 2 months. So it's like speedy trial here. We have the same thing. But then you can file for something that extends it when both sides need more time, and then it's all agreed on and fine.
But that's just like, you can fuck somebody's life up for a month without charging them?
I knew they have arrest warrant. They have charges on them, but just while it's substantiated and while the pre-stuff goes on and to see if they have enough to proceed, I think. It's the same thing here. Like if you're indicted and arrested and you sit here, you're being held and then you could be on bail or not. And if not, there's just, if you say I want a speedy trial, they got to get moving on that. Right. So, now, finally, the baby was found.
Oh, thank God.
The baby was delivered to the mother. Hopefully we'll keep that away from Eliza's mother. Hopefully keeping it away from the other mother, or the father, I mean, here. The child has been with Eliza's father since he was found with an unknown woman. They had given the kid to the father, then took the baby away from the father because the father's a rapist. Right. And then
gave it to an unknown woman.
Now they give the baby to the mother. Okay, the baby's grandmother, we should say. It's insane that he was granted temporary custody and he's a fucking rapist. So, according to a social worker, after being delivered to his grandmother, Eliza's baby was seen by a doctor because of respiratory problems. The baby was treated and seems fine now. Maybe it's the abortion drugs the homemade abortion drugs that were pumped into the mother's system. Sonia said she was very happy after picking up her grandson. Sonia and the baby should travel to Mato Grosso this Friday. The attorney who represents Eliza's father told the media that Luis Carlos Zamudio is very upset that at the ruling that he can't have the baby. I mean, I promise I won't rape this one.
It's a boy. What am I going to do to him?
Come on. I have no interest.
He was taken and had breathing issues. What, did he get into Pop's chloroform or something?
Yeah. What happened? Fucking ridiculous. They said next week we will file an appeal in hopes of reversing the new ruling and retaining custody of the child. We will argue that the accusation of rape that hangs over my client is false.
It's not, though, right?
But he has a bit. No, it's not. This is crazy. Doesn't seem like it. Allegedly, I don't fucking know anymore.
I don't know. It feels like it's been adjudicated, though, hasn't it?
He got sentenced. It's crazy. They said the rape accusation, according to the other side, the legal side here, the rape accusation was decisive for authorities to grant custody of Eliza's baby to this man's ex-wife.
Right.
Which I don't trust who else she might bring into the house, though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
If she found him, not that she's a bad person, but if she found him, that means that she got fucked up somewhere along the line to think that, subconsciously or not, that a child rapist was okay. So who knows who the fuck? Her judgment is obviously flawed.
Or he's really good.
Or he's really smooth, which doesn't really seem like it. But they assured that the baby's fine, in good health, and was about to be vaccinated. So that's good. That's good there. Now here's where it gets interesting, and we're going to end it off here, and we're going to pick it up next week.
Okay.
July 19th, 2010, Bruno's wife claims to have seen Eliza alive on June 10th.
Oh, she's seen a lot.
Yeah, she is pretty deep into this. The prosecutor in the case surrounding the disappearance of Eliza here said that Diane, wife of Bruno, said in a police statement made last week that she had seen Eliza alive at the goalkeeper's ranch on June 10th. Mm-hmm. The information may change the course of investigations, as police had believed that she was killed on June 9th, according to the cousin.
But she saw her on the 10th.
She saw her in the 10th. Now, this also might be, and we've seen this countless times, even when a very rich person, famous athlete, beats the living shit out of his wife, she'll come out later and say, no, I wasn't that. It's a total misunderstanding because we still want to make a living.
Right.
You know, being beaten up and poor isn't going to help me any, basically, at that point. So let him make money that I can at least have some of.
Recovering from this goose egg with no money is less fun.
That's a lot less fun. So they say both Bruno's cousin and the youth arrested in Rio mentioned that the day of the murder during their respective police statements. So two different people had said the 9th is when she was killed.
Got it.
And she says, I saw her on the 10th. Now, Diane is still sitting in prison. She's suspected of involvement in the disappearance, which she denies. Okay. So this is also self-serving as well. Sure. So she's trying to say Eliza's not dead. Eliza had a relationship with Bruno and has made no contact with family or friends, and they obviously think she's dead. According to the prosecutor, Diane says that she saw Eliza on June 9th, then one last time on June 10th, and she said she did not notice any wounds on Eliza's head whatsoever.
Where did she see her?
During the interrogation, Diane also revealed that Bruno had asked her to take care of Eliza's 5-month-old son. The goalkeeper had claimed he needed to travel and that the child's mother had gone on a shopping trip.
Yeah.
Diane said she knew the baby was Eliza's and knew she wasn't buying that bullshit. She's not stupid. She's like, I knew who it was. But she said she started to take care of the baby boy on June 10th anyway. In her original statement, she said that her first contact with the child didn't occur until June 20th. The prosecutor believes Diane decided to change her testimony after speaking with her mother and brother, and she says she no longer sees any point in protecting Bruno. Okay, and we will end it here with July 2010. After all of this, Flamengo finally suspends him.
Oh, it's about time.
Jesus, just being in the middle of this, you would be suspended. If you were in the NFL and you're...
At least ask to just not come to practice for a while.
Oh, God, at least calm down, at least with pay or something.
Yeah.
He's been suspended and has suspended his contract as a result of the murder investigation, and the club's lawyer would no longer act in his defense. So he was getting legal help from the club. Wow. Their lawyer was defending him. And they were paying him. Now they suspend his contract, which means he's not getting paid. And now he's got to pay for his own lawyer, which is rough. With Bruno, he had Flamengo had won the following club titles: the Copa do Brasil 2006, Campeonato Carioca 2007, 8, and 9, Taca Guanabara, which sounds like a kind of taco, a Guanabara taco. From real southern Mexico. I heard those are good. Right below the Oaxacan food, you get the Guanabara tacos.
Guanabara? That sounds like bat droppings.
Bat shit tacos. Bat shit. They're so good. They're bat shit, these tacos. They're crazy. Also the Tacario in 2009 and the Campeonato Brasileiro Series A in 2009. Yeah. So there we go. Let's leave it off with that.
Wow.
I think that's a crazy part 1, and we will finish off next week with part 2.
He's
It'll only be a 2-part.
Suspended indeed.
He's definitely suspended, and rightfully fucking so, because he is a massive pile of shit, obviously. And that is Bruno Fernandes De Souza so far. And right away, we've gotten way more information than we had just in the last episode alone, by far. Yeah. We didn't know shit about him. We didn't know about the rapist dad. We didn't know about any of that stuff. So this is pretty... we know too much now.
So gross.
And we're going to find out way grosser shit than that.
But he was convicted and they still gave him custody. That's fascinating.
That is insane.
I don't think that's happened here, right?
I'm sure it has.
I'm sure it has.
I think it's happened on Small Town Murder, as a matter of fact. I think it has.
Convicted and gotten custody, sole custody of a child after
Pretty sure.
Yeah, yikes.
So there you go, everybody. Definitely tune in next week for the conclusion of Bruno Fernandes De Souza. And You should also head over to whatever app you're listening on and give us 5 stars because it helps tremendously. It helps drive us up the charts and just helps more people see the show. So thanks for doing that, everybody who has. Also, follow on social media at Crime and Sports. Yeah. Definitely head over to shutupandgivememurder.com. Tons of merchandise is up there, new stuff all the time, and you can get tickets for Small Town Murder live shows there as well. We have May 2nd in Denver, May 30th, Royal Oak, Michigan. Those two still have tickets left. Everything around it sold out. Then in September, the 18th and 19th, we're in Milwaukee and Minneapolis. And then later on in October and November, we're Dallas, San Jose, Sacramento, Tarrytown, New York, and Boston. So get your butts out there, asses in seats, and come out and see us. We're very excited to do that. Shutupandgivememurder.com. Yeah. Patreon is what you need as well.
That's what it
Get that Patreon. Patreon.com/CrimeInSports, just like the name of this show. Right. That will get you everything we put out. I mean everything. Anybody $5 a month or above, you are going to get the maximum amount of material. Immediately upon subscription, you're going to get hundreds of back bonus episodes, almost 400 of them, I believe, that you can immediately get upon subscription. Then you get new ones every other week, one Crime and Sports and one Small Town Murder, and you get it all, everybody. Yeah. This week, which are what we're going to talk about, for Crime and Sports, we're going to talk about this program that was in Los Angeles. I believe it was in the 80s, and it was to get inner city kids off the street and help them out and get them going with sports and all that. And, of course, it turned into like a giant abusive cult because, you know, that's what people do because they're fucking
monsters.
They're monsters. And then for Small Town Murder, we're going to talk about, speaking of a monster, Corey Richins Part 2.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. This woman poisoned her husband to death in Utah, and these Utah mothers are out of control. And then
wild, man.
Wrote a book about it for her kids and put it out on Amazon and went on Good Morning Utah and all this shit. It was a book to help her kids grieve with the loss of the father who she fucking killed. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy stuff, and there's so much more to it. It's wild shit. We'll get into all of that and more. Patreon.com/CrimeInSports. And you also get everything we put out, Crime and Sports, Your Stupid Opinions, and Small Town Murder, all ad-free with your Patreon as well, which is amazing. And on top of that, you also get a shout-out where Jimmy's going to fuck your name all up, and it's going to happen right goddamn now.
This week's executive producer are Liz Vasquez, Stephanie, and Emma, visiting all the Illinois parks. They've got 35 to go. They've done over 100 of them. I don't know how many parks Illinois got. That seems like a lot,
apparently a lot.
Like municipal parks or
I thought you meant like amusement parks because we did that on Patreon.
Or amusement parks. 135? I don't know.
That's a lot. That seems like all of them, I think, at that point.
Is that municipal parks?
I think we're getting held up on details that probably don't matter that much at this
point.
Gary
Howard's in Duncan, South Carolina. Did you know
that? Good to see you, Gary.
Laura Blakesley put down her pup. God damn it. I'm sorry, Laura.
That's a heartbreaker. Sorry to hear that.
Arthur Lane says Yahweh's a cunt. That's fun.
We'll find out about that we do Robert Rozier on Crime and Sports.
Other producers this week, Peyton Meadows, Thomas Smith. Happy birthday. Happy hours in Horn Lake, Mississippi.
Horn Lake, that's one of our towns, I believe. For
Janice Hill, Sharon Jones, Raptor 1 and Raptor 2 are celebrating Raptor 1's birthday, James.
Well, congrats on happy birthday to the Raptor.
I don't know why they got to be so anonymous, but
it's that Vince Carter and Tracy McGrady. Is it Raptor 1 and 2? I'm not sure. Not sure.
Mikey G, Tyler Mack, Brad Kelly, Kiss Fan 44, Aiden Chan, Talon with no last name, Kelly with no last name, Becca Haas, Liv with no last name, HK, Aiden Becker, Trisha Montague, Shannon Johnson, Alex Nissen, Allison Bain, Danielle with no last name, Amelia Tkach, Adam, no, that's Matt. Adam, no, it's definitely Matt. Jaeger, or Jaeger, Stacy Mayberry, Sam Van, Melissa Crane, Papa Willie, you know, like Pop.
Oh, Wheelie.
Wheelie, but Papa also.
Willie.
His name's Willie. Crystal Regina Blair, Mackenzie with no last name, Brian D, Jody St. Laurent, Lindsay Malkowitz, Andrea Braun, Thom. Oh, it's Tom with an H.
Yeah.
No last name, just
old
Thom. Riley
Thomster.
Allen, Liz with no last name. Kristen Kava, Hugh Jassel, James. It's definitely a real name. Mia Riverwind.
Sure.
Molly Vogele, Maureen Lawless, Fiona B, Jackie Hawk, Chelsea with no last name, Charles Spencer, Paul Helvey, Ashley with no last name, Paul Estes, Kayla Dean, Jennifer Zabrist, Pakakis, Donna Baylaw, Nikki Olson, Diane W., Courtney Friese, Jacob Osborne, Tanya Walker, Dan and Hannah Conway, William St. Jean, John perhaps, Miranda Bailey, Dawn with no last name, JJ with no last name, Jesse Roden, Kyle McDaniel, Paul George Aubrey with no last name, Tree or Triss or Tries with no last name, Carrie Issabrand, Isbrand, Penny Adams, that's it. Hansel Cross, Ronnie with no last name, Lollipop, Heather with no last name, Jackie Pick, Yana Morgan, Yana perhaps, Jennifer Aiello, like Danny, Don Shaw, Gavin Yenny. What happened to him? Is he dead? Danny Aiello's dead, right? He's got to be dead.
I haven't heard of anything.
Ian Crow. Yeah, last time I've heard of him was that Papa Don't Preach video, right? Is that the last thing he was in?
I think he was on a bad TV show in the late 90s. Pretty sure.
Fuck. Ian Crow, Slapman with no last name, Days Gay, Barbara Thompson, Betty S., Mr. Moose, Andy with no last name, Rebecca H., Guy Pelland, Jay Marie, Hallie Moore Timmons, Kevin and Janice McComber, Teresa Lang, Jen with no last name, Caitlin Haas, Manuel Garcia, Amy McKernan, Nikki Sampson, Lando Ewok, Arthur Cook, Mary Eberhart, Dylan O'Connell, Mike and Rebecca Elton, Betsy Rataya Gazda, I'd rather help a dog, Yvette with no last name. Nope, that's Yvette S. Roxanne Lance, Brody with no last name, Katie with no last name, Crystal Cardenas, Jamie, Jaime Keck, Dylan Glukert, Jossie with no last name, Nestor Navarro, Cecilia with no last name, Sheet Metal Workers Local 19, James.
Oh shit,
they're around. The locals, I fucking love a union. Lisa Dyer, Bender with no last name, Megan French, Linda Payne, Bridgert, Brandhorst, Aiden D, Renee Crawford, Kimberly Hensley, Lindsay Ginger, Raimundo Martinez, Mary Esther Luce, Carissa Cardiff, Timothy Kropa, Nakisha Kritzer, Daniela Sartori, Tish D, Bradley Lathan, Chelsea Rangeloff, Alec Haddad, Krista Springer, Patrick Van Splenen, Van Solen, and all of our patrons. You guys are the best.
Thank you so much, everybody. You beautiful, wonderful sons of bitches. We love you so much. Thank you for hanging out with us. Thank you for doing all that you do for us. Thanks for your time. Thanks for your money. Thanks for your support. You want to find us on social media, you can do that real easy over at shutupandgivememurder.com. Drop-down menus really take you anywhere you need to go. The merchandise, the tickets, the links, and all that good shit. So keep coming back. Keep seeing us every week. We got more Bruno next week and live from the Crime and Sports Studios. We will see you next week.
Bye.